The life you desire is not a destination in time, but a frequency in consciousness. To shift your world, you must simply tune the instrument of your heart to the reality where you have already arrived. The Alchemist of Time. Section 1. Beyond the Veil of Reality, an Invitation to the Multiverse. Welcome, travelers seeking answers amidst the rush of life, to this sanctuary of silence, where we shall peel back the rough, calloused rind of reality to gaze into the brilliant core within. Imagine, if you will, that at this very moment, as you read these words, the reality you are experiencing, the room in which you sit, the air you breathe, and even the burdens of worry or the flickers of hope weighing upon your heart, is but a single, solitary frequency upon the grand radio of the cosmos. We often labor under the illusion that life is a straight, linear highway, stretching from the past, through the present, and hurtling toward the future, a road paved with the reinforced concrete of unchangeable destiny. But permit me, as an old friend on this path, to whisper a secret shared by ancient sages and modern quantum physicists alike. That road is not the only path. Reality is softer than you imagine. It is more akin to water than to stone. And quantum jumping is the art of learning to swim between those currents to reach the shore your soul has always yearned for. When we speak of shifting to a desired timeline this very night, we are not speaking of fleeting magic or distant illusions. We are speaking of the deepest mechanics of existence. Consider this: quantum physics has revealed that at the microscopic level, an electron does not exist in a fixed location until it is observed. Before that, it exists as a cloud of probability, a state of pure potential. You, a being of flesh and bone, are composed of this very stardust. This means that the version of you, the one who is wealthy, the one who is blissfully happy, the one who is overflowing with health, or the one who is deeply loved, is not a pipe dream. That version exists, right now, in a quantum superposition, a parallel timeline only a breath away, separated merely by a vibrational frequency. The concept of quantum jumping is the golden key that unlocks the door standing between current you and that potential you. Tonight, as the curtain of night descends and the noisy world outside sinks into slumber, is the most sacred moment to perform this leap. Why tonight? Because in the stillness of the shadows, the boundaries of the rational ego, that part of you that judges, doubts, and insists that this is impossible, become their most porous. It is then that your consciousness returns to a primal state, soft as unbaked clay, ready to be molded anew. We often live as prisoners of the past, allowing old memories to shape our tomorrow. But quantum jumping invites you to cast off that tattered garment. It asks you to stand before the mirror of the universe, not to see the reflection of the present, but to look through it, to see the person you wish to become smiling and waving at you from the other side. Envision this universe as an infinite library, housing every book regarding every life you could possibly live. There is a volume where you are a master artist, another where you are a brilliant leader, and one where you have found absolute peace. You need not rewrite the book you currently hold in your hands if its chapters are filled with too much sorrow. You need only, with focus and steady intent, set it down and reach for another from the shelf. That act of reaching is the shifting of the vibrational frequency of your emotions and thoughts. The universe does not listen to the words you speak. It listens to the vibration you emit. When you learn to tune the broadcast dial of your mind to match the frequency of your desired timeline, physical reality will naturally and inevitably begin to rearrange itself to match that new score. This is not coercion, it is resonance, a law as gentle yet as powerful as the gravity of planets. However, to embark upon this journey requires a profound internal courage. You must dare to release your grip on your current identity. Many of us, though suffering, cling tightly to our pain because it feels familiar. We fear change, even when that change is positive, because the unknown always carries the color of uncertainty. But, oh brave souls, quantum jumping is not a trek into the wilderness. It is a homecoming. It is the process of remembering who you truly are when you are unbound by fear and limiting beliefs. The timeline you desire is not a foreign land you have never visited. It is the place your soul inherently belongs, though you may have accidentally lost your way in the labyrinth of daily cares. Tonight, we shall light the lantern together, finding the shortcut across the quantum field to return to that place. In the chapters of this conversation that follow, we shall not wade through dry mathematical formulas that confuse the mind, but we shall stroll through the gardens of consciousness. We will explore how a fleeting thought holds the power to construct the material world, and how emotion, the wordless language of the heart, is the fuel for the greatest time machine of all. You will come to understand that quantum jumping is not an action of the feet, but a leap of perception. When perception changes, the world changes. It is an immutable law. Much like changing the lens of a movie projector, the film on the screen of your life will shift accordingly, from tragedy to epic, from dullness to brilliant color. So, loosen your shoulders, take a deep breath, and let your mind drift along the flow of these words. Do not rush to analyze or debate. Simply let these concepts seep into your subconscious like spring rain soaking into parched earth. Transformation often begins with a gentle acceptance that perhaps there is more than this. And indeed, there are infinite wonders waiting for you. Tonight is not merely an ordinary night. It may well be the intersection, the crossroads where you turn toward a completely new direction. You hold the ticket in your hand, and the train traversing quantum space is preparing to depart. Are you ready to step aboard? Section 2, the architecture of the invisible pillars of quantum existence. Now that we have stepped across the threshold of the introduction, let us venture deeper into the cathedral of concepts that supports this magnificent possibility. To understand quantum jumping is not merely to learn a technique, but to fundamentally rewrite the dictionary with which you define reality itself. We must begin by dismantling the most persistent illusion of the human experience, the illusion of solidity and continuity. You look at your hands, and they appear to be solid matter, stable and unchanging. You look at your life, and it seems to be a singular, linear narrative, etched in stone from yesterday to today. Yet, the wise ones and the quantum theorists alike whisper a different truth. They tell us that solidity is merely a trick of the light, a dance of energy vibrating at a specific speed to create the appearance of form. If you were to zoom in deep enough, past the cells, past the molecules, past the atoms, you would find emptiness. Vast, vibrating emptiness. You are not a noun, you are a verb. You are not a static object. You are a dynamic event, a symphony of frequencies humming in the void. This brings us to the first great pillar of our exploration, the multiverse, or the many worlds interpretation. Imagine, if you will, a grand hallway that extends infinitely in both directions. This hallway is lined with innumerable doors, each standing slightly ajar. Behind every single door lies a version of reality that is fully formed and as real as the one you are breathing in right now. In one room, you made that decision you regret. In another, you chose differently. In one room, you are struggling to find your way. In another, you are living your highest purpose with grace and abundance. These are not metaphorical phantoms. They are quantum probabilities existing simultaneously. The reason you do not see them is not because they aren't there, but because your consciousness, your internal radio tuner, is currently locked onto only one specific frequency. You are listening to the station called My Current Life, and the volume is turned up so high that it drowns out the music playing on all the other channels. Quantum jumping is simply the art of turning the dial. But how does one turn this dial? This leads us to the concept of resonance and vibration, the silent language of the cosmos. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not speak English, or Vietnamese, or any human tongue. It speaks in frequency. It operates like a colossal mirror that reflects your internal state back to you as external circumstance. This is where many travelers stumble. for they try to change the reflection in the mirror without changing the face they present to it. You cannot shout at the mirror to make it smile. You must smile first, and the mirror has no choice but to reflect it. Similarly, you cannot demand a new timeline of wealth or love while your internal frequency is vibrating with the hum of lack or loneliness. To jump is to match the frequency of the reality you desire before it becomes visible to your eyes. You must feel the texture of that new reality, taste its air, and let its emotions wash over you in the now. It is the great paradox you must become it to see it. We must also confront the fluidity of time, that relentless river we feel trapped within. In the quantum realm, time is not a straight arrow flying from the past into the future. It is a vast ocean, an eternal now, where all moments exist simultaneously, like points on a map. When you look at a map, New York and Paris exist at the same time. You simply choose where to place your finger. So it is with your life. The you of 5 years ago and the you of 5 years hence are both alive and active in the quantum field. The only thing moving is the spotlight of your conscious attention. When we speak of jumping timelines, we are effectively moving that spotlight. We are choosing to illuminate a different coordinate on the map of eternity. This liberates us from the heavy chains of karma and cause and effect as we traditionally understand them. You are not punished for your past. You are merely experiencing the frequency you are currently tuned to. Change the frequency, and you change the past and future associated with it. Interwoven with this is the phenomenon known as the observer effect. In the laboratories of quantum physics, it has been proven that subatomic particles exist as waves of infinite potential until they are observed. The moment a conscious eye looks upon them, they collapse from a wave into a single particle, a definitive point in space and time. This is a profound spiritual truth, disguised as science. It implies that you are not a passive victim of the world you see. You are the projector of it. Your attention is the sculpting tool. Where you place your focus, reality hardens into fact. When you withdraw your focus, reality softens back into possibility. Most people live their lives observing what is their problems, their debts, their pains, and by observing them with intense emotional charge, they collapse the wave function over and over again into the same pattern, recreating yesterday's struggles today. Quantum jumping asks you to withdraw your gaze from the unwanted current reality and place it firmly, with intent and emotion, upon the desired reality. You must become a new observer to collapse a new wave. Finally, we must understand the concept of entanglement and connection. We are not isolated islands floating in a cold sea. We are deeply entangled with the energy of the universe. Every thought you think sends a ripple across the fabric of space-time. This is why the jump is possible. You are already connected to that other version of yourself. The one who is healthy, the one who is successful. That version is you. There is a silver cord of consciousness connecting you to every potential variation of your existence. You do not need to build a bridge to get there. The bridge already exists. It is built of imagination and belief. The barrier that stops you from walking across it is simply the density of your own doubt and the inertia of your habits. As we absorb these concepts, let them settle not just in your intellect, but in your bones. We are speaking of a universe that is responsive, alive, and waiting for your command. It is a universe of yes. If you say life is hard, the universe says yes and shows you hardship. If you say I am abundant, the universe says yes and aligns the stars to prove you right. The core themes of quantum jumping are an invitation to take responsibility for this dialogue. It is a move from being a character in the story to becoming the author of the book. The ink is your emotion, the paper is the quantum field, and the time to write a new chapter is always, inevitably, right now. Section 3, the Library of Souls and the Labyrinth of Mirrors. Let us now leave the rigid structures of logic and theory behind, for the language of the quantum universe is best understood not through equations, but through the fluid landscape of symbols and stories. The mind thinks in words, but the soul thinks in images and feelings. To truly grasp the essence of shifting your timeline tonight, we must walk together through the corridors of allegory, illuminating the hidden mechanics of your reality with the lantern of imagination. Imagine, if you will, that you are standing before a colossal, ancient structure, the great library of existence. Its ceilings vanish into the nebulae of the cosmos, and its corridors stretch endlessly in every direction. This library does not contain the history of the world as it was, but the history of the world as it could be. Every shelf is lined with volumes of your life. There is a dusty, worn volume that you are currently holding in your hands. It tells the story of your current struggles, your limitations, and the routine you woke up to this morning. But look around you. Just an arm's length away, on a shelf slightly higher up, sits another book with your name on the spine. This version is bound in gold. In its pages, you are not reading about a person who wishes for love or abundance. You are reading the diary of a person who is already living it. In that volume, the decisions you made 5 years ago were different, or perhaps a stroke of luck intervened yesterday. The critical insight here is that the library is not being written as you go. The books are already printed. They are sitting there, waiting. Quantum jumping is the realization that you are not chained to the book you are holding. You have merely been reading it with such intense focus that you forgot you were standing in a library full of other options. The librarian, your higher self, watches with patient eyes, waiting for you to simply close the current volume, place it back on the shelf with gratitude for the lessons it taught, and reach out to open the golden one. The moment you open that new book and immerse yourself in its narrative, the walls of the library dissolve, and you find yourself inside the story. Now, let the scene shift. The library fades, and you find yourself standing in the center of a vast, circular hall of mirrors. But these are not ordinary mirrors. They are quantum reflectors. In the center of the room stands a projector, and that projector is your heart. It hums with the light of your deepest beliefs and emotions. When you look into the mirrors surrounding you, you see your physical reality, your bank account, your relationships, your health. Often, when we see a reflection we dislike, perhaps a reflection of loneliness or scarcity, we rush toward the mirror, trying to scrub the glass, trying to force the image to change. We plead, we work harder, we struggle against the glass. But the mirror, being just a mirror, can only reflect what is being projected from the center. This is the tragedy of the human condition. We try to change the world, the reflection, without changing the film reel in the projector, our internal state. In this hall of mirrors, quantum jumping is the act of returning to the center of the room. It is the act of turning your back on the mirrors for a moment, ignoring the reality that tells you what is currently true, and tending to the projector. You change the slide. You insert a slide of gratitude, a slide of power, a slide of certainty. At first, the mirrors may still show the old image, the residue of the past projection. But if you hold the new slide steady, ignoring the lag time, the mirrors must, by the laws of physics and optics, eventually rearrange themselves to reflect the new image. You do not change the mirror, you change the source. The world is merely the echo of your own voice. To hear a new song, you must sing a new tune. Consider, too, the allegory of the radio in the wilderness. Imagine you are walking through a dense, foggy forest at night. You carry a radio receiver. The air around you is filled with invisible radio waves, thousands of songs, broadcasts, news reports, and symphonies all passing through your body at this very moment. You cannot see them, but they are there. Your radio is currently tuned to 98.5 FM, a station that plays a melancholic, slow blues track. The music makes you feel sad. It colors the way you see the trees, making them look weeping and dreary. You might believe that the forest is sad, or that the only music in the world is this blues song. But a wise traveler knows that the music is not the forest, and it is certainly not the only option. With a simple flick of the wrist, a tiny adjustment of the dial, You tune to 101.9 FM. Suddenly, an upbeat, triumphant orchestral piece fills the air. The trees now seem to dance. The fog looks like a mysterious veil rather than a suffocating blanket. The forest hasn't changed. The radio waves haven't changed. Both the blues and the orchestra were there the whole time, occupying the same space. The only thing that changed was your receptivity. This is the most profound symbol of all. The timeline where you are successful is not a place you have to travel to. It is a frequency you have to tune into. It is broadcasting right now, in the room where you sit. But if your internal dial, your thoughts and emotions, is rusted onto the station of worry and lack, you cannot hear the symphony of abundance. The static you hear when you try to change is simply the resistance of your old habits. Quantum jumping is the practice of oiling that dial, gaining the fine motor control to find the clear signal of your desire, and holding it there until the music becomes your new reality. Finally, visualize a great river branching into infinite streams. Most people are like driftwood, floating passively wherever the strongest current takes them. They say, "This is my fate," as they are battered against the rocks. But you, the awakened jumper, are not driftwood. You are a skilled kayaker. You realize that at every moment, every now, the river forks. One branch leads to the same old rapids, another leads to calm, sunlit waters. The paddle you hold is your intent. Most people wait until they are already in the rapids to try to paddle, which is exhausting and often futile. The master jumper sees the fork coming before it arrives. They use their intent to steer gently toward the desired branch before the physical evidence surrounds them. Tonight, you are at a fork in the river. The darkness of the night is the calm water before the split. You have the paddle. The currents are your choices, not just what you do, but how you feel. By visualizing the calm water, by feeling the sun on your face before the sun has risen, you steer the kayak. You do not fight the river, you navigate it. These stories, the library, the hall of mirrors, the radio, and the river are not merely poetic flights of fancy. They are maps. They describe a territory that your logical mind may struggle to grasp, but your deeper intuition recognizes instantly. They tell you that reality is pliable, that you are the operator of the machine, not a cog within it. As we prepare to move from these high metaphors to the concrete pavement of daily life, carry these images with you. Let the feeling of the golden book, the new slide, the triumphant station, and the sunlit stream settle into your chest. For it is this feeling that serves as the fuel for the jump. Section 4. Anchoring the drift, weaving the quantum into the mundane. We have soared through the cosmos, wandered through the libraries of eternity, and gazed into the mirrors of the soul. But a philosophy, no matter how profound, remains a ghost until it is given a body to inhabit. We must now descend from the mountain of insight and walk into the valley of daily life. This is often the most challenging part of the journey, for the air up on the mountain is clear and thin, while the air in the valley is thick with the fog of routine, bills, alarm clocks, and the stubborn inertia of physical matter. How, then, does one perform a quantum jump not just in the mind, but in the gritty reality of a Tuesday morning? How do you shift timelines when the sink is leaking and the world is demanding your attention? Secret lies in understanding that the jump is not a singular, explosive event that happens once and is finished. It is a subtle, continuous weaving of a new thread into the fabric of the old. It begins, most potently, in the twilight zone of consciousness, the liminal space between waking and sleeping. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, you approach the most powerful portal available to the human mind, the hypnagogic state. This is the moment when the rigid sentries of your logical mind, the guards that say, "This is impossible," or "I am unworthy," begin to fall asleep, leaving the back door to your subconscious wide open. Most people use this sacred time to replay the worries of the day, effectively planting seeds of anxiety for tomorrow's harvest. To jump timelines, you must reclaim this territory. As you lie in the dark, feeling the weight of the sheets, you must perform the act of mental rehearsal. Do not merely watch your desired reality like a movie on a screen. Step into it. Feel the texture of the steering wheel of that new car. Smell the perfume of that lover. Feel the relief in your chest as you look at a bank balance that overflows. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and unwoven. In this state, you are encoding the coordinates of the new timeline directly into your biology. You are telling the quantum field, "This is who I am now." You drift to sleep not hoping for a better tomorrow, but resting in the assumption that the shift has already occurred. When you wake, however, the gravity of the old timeline will try to pull you back. This is the critical juncture. You open your eyes, and the familiar ceiling, the familiar sounds, and the familiar problems rush in to greet you. They scream, "Nothing has changed." But the master jumper smiles at this illusion. You must treat the morning not as a continuation of yesterday, but as a fresh login to a new simulation. Before you get out of bed, take a moment to put on your new identity just as you would put on a coat. Ask yourself, how would the version of me, who is already successful, loved, and healthy, move through this morning? That version might make coffee with a sense of leisure rather than a frantic rush. That version might look in the mirror and see potential rather than flaws. By consciously adopting the micro behaviors and emotional posture of your desired self, you are bridging the gap. You are acting as if until the acting becomes being. This is not faking it. It is calibrating your instrument to a new key. We can also employ physical rituals to anchor these shifting states, for the mind loves symbols. Consider the practice often whispered about in these circles, the alchemy of water. Water is known to be a conductor, holding memory and intent. You might take 2 cups tonight. One is filled with water, representing your current reality, perhaps labeled stress or stagnation. The other is empty, labeled with your destination peace or flow. As you pour the water from the full cup to the empty one, hear the sound, watch the fluid move, and feel that you are physically transferring your life force from one timeline to another. Then, drink the water. It is a simple, perhaps even childish act to the skeptic, but to the subconscious, it is a profound ceremony. It signals a definitive break, a crossing of the Rubicon. You are internalizing the new state, making it part of your physical body. As you move through your days after initiating a jump, you will inevitably encounter what we call reality lag. The physical world is denser than the world of thought. It takes time to turn a massive ship. You may have shifted your internal frequency to abundance, yet the bill still arrives in the mail today. Do not falter. Do not look at the bill and say, "It didn't work." Instead, recognize the bill for what it is, an echo. It is the residue of your past vibrations, like the rumble of thunder after the lightning has already struck. It is fading. If you react with the old fear, you re-energize the old timeline. If you look at it with detachment and maintain your new frequency, the echo dies out, making space for the new reality to materialize. This requires a warrior's discipline, the ability to ignore the evidence of the senses in favor of the truth of the vision. Furthermore, you must become a tracker of signs. When you shift timelines, the universe will begin to wink at you. You might see repeating numbers, overhear a conversation that answers a question you just thought of, or find an unexpected opportunity in your inbox. These are not coincidences, they are the breadcrumbs of the new timeline. Acknowledge them, say thank you to them. Where attention goes, energy flows. By noticing these small shifts, you amplify them. You are telling the universe, yes, more of this, please. It is a feedback loop. The more you validate the new reality, the more the new reality solidifies around you. Finally, understand that practical integration involves a change in your decision-making architecture. In your old timeline, you made decisions based on fear, scarcity, or protection. In the new timeline, the you that you are becoming makes decisions based on expansion, trust, and intuition. When faced with a choice today, whether it is what to eat for lunch or whether to apply for that job, pause and ask, which choice does my future self make? Then, take that action. It might feel risky. It might feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is simply the sensation of breaking the shell of the old self. Every time you choose in alignment with your vision, you are collapsing the wave function in favor of that specific future. You are knitting the dream into the daylight, stitch by stitch, until one day you look around and realize that the life you used to visualize is the life you are now waking up to. Section 5: The Dawn of the New You, a covenant with the future. And so, we arrive at the edge of the precipice, standing together at the quiet conclusion of this journey through the architecture of the soul. We have traversed the nebulous realms of quantum theory, wandered through the allegorical libraries of potential, and grounded these celestial lightnings into the humble earth of daily ritual. Now, the time for intellectualizing is over. The books must be closed, the maps folded away, and the lectures silenced. What remains is only you, the beating of your heart, and the vast, pregnant silence of the night that surrounds you. This is the moment of convergence. All the words you have read up to this point were merely preparation, a tuning of the instrument before the performance. The performance itself is the life you are about to step into. It is crucial to understand that this conclusion is not an ending. It is a point of departure, a singularity from which a new universe, your new universe, begins to expand. As you sit in the stillness, reflect for a moment on the weight you have been carrying. We often do not realize how heavy our old story is until we prepare to set it down. You have carried the identity of the struggler, the seeker, the one who waits, for so long that it has worn a groove into your spirit. But tonight, under the canopy of these stars, which are themselves ancient travelers of time, you are granted permission to lay that burden down. You are realizing that the version of you that is limited, fearful, or lacking is not the absolute truth of your being. It was merely a costume you wore for a season that is now ending. The quantum jump is, at its heart, an act of supreme forgiveness. You forgive yourself for the past that didn't go as planned. You forgive the reality that was harsh to you. By forgiving it, you detach your energy from it. You cut the ropes that tether your boat to the dock of yesterday, allowing the current of your highest potential to finally take you. Consider the profound implication of what we have discussed, that you are a creator. This is not a poetic platitude. It is a structural fact of existence. The universe is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Every time you chose hope over despair in the past, you were jumping. Every time you visualized a better outcome, and it came to pass, you were jumping. You have been a time traveler your entire life, only now you are taking the helm. You are moving from being a passenger who is asleep in the back seat to the driver who is wide awake, eyes fixed on the horizon. This shift in perspective changes everything. It means that there are no victims in the quantum field, only volunteers. You are volunteering tonight to leave the timeline of less than and volunteer for the timeline of more than enough. Tonight, as you lay your head upon the pillow, treat the act of sleeping not as a shutting down, but as a launching sequence. Let the darkness be the womb of creation. As you drift off, do not replay the tapes of your limitations. Instead, light the candle of your intention. Whisper to the universe, "I am ready." Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled so intensely that it brings a smile to your face in the dark. That smile is the signal. It is the secret handshake between you and the cosmos. It tells the quantum field that you are no longer asking for the wish to come true. You are celebrating that it already has. In that state of gratitude in advance, you collapse the wave function. You bypass the linear delay of time. You merge with the version of you who is already there. You are not going to sleep as the person who wants. You are going to sleep as the person who has. When the sun rises tomorrow, it will not just be a new day, it will be a new epoch. You may look in the mirror and see the same face, the same eyes, the same room. But do not be deceived by the surface. Something fundamental will have shifted in the foundation. You will feel a lightness, a subtle hum of anticipation, a strange sense that the world is softer, more malleable. You will walk through your day carrying a secret, the secret that you have already seen the end of the movie, and you know it ends in triumph. This secret knowledge will give you a magnetic confidence that the world will find irresistible. Opportunities will seek you out because you are now broadcasting on their frequency. People will be drawn to you because you are vibrating with the resonance of authenticity and joy. You will no longer be chasing the butterflies of happiness. You will have become the garden where they choose to land. However, a word of gentle caution: as we part ways, be patient with the unfolding. A seed planted tonight does not become an oak tree by dawn, but the blueprint of the oak is fully present in the seed. The jump has happened the moment you decide it has. The physical manifestation is simply the universe rearranging the furniture to match your new blueprint. Do not dig up the seed every hour to see if it is growing. Trust the soil, trust the process, trust yourself. You have unlocked the door. You have turned the dial, the bridge is built. So, go now. The night is waiting. The stars are watching. The version of you that you have dreamed of, the one who is whole, healed, wealthy, and wise, is not far away. They are standing right there, just on the other side of a thin veil, extending a hand to you. They have been waiting for you to stop doubting, to stop struggling, and to simply take their hand. Reach out. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and make the jump. The safety net is the universe itself. You will not fall, you will fly. Welcome to your new timeline. Welcome home.